Hoodoo versus the CRITR. Which one comes out on top? Can you say hi to YouTube? Hey. Hey. Ah. No. No. Down. Okay. Done. What's going on, Canyon freaks? Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's raining outside. Figured it's a good time to sit down and discuss a little bit of the differences, similarities, pros and cons versus the Hoodoo and the CRITR. Probably a couple of the more popular rappel devices out there for canyoneering. Back in May, I received an email from Joshua Norman who asked me, he says, I know you like the CRITR a lot, but they're really hard to get. And he's right, they're kind of hard to get right now. I know the manufacturer's working on that. But he says, what do you think of the Hoodoo? And I says, well, I've never used a Hoodoo. He said, I'll send you one. Try it out, give me a review, and post it. And then let me know what you think between the differences. So, thanks, Josh. He sent me a Hoodoo back in May, and I started using it in June. And I didn't want to just run out and rap once with it and do a review off of that. So I used it for a little bit during the summer. And spoiler alert, I didn't like the Hoodoo. I ran it through 4 canyons, 2 in Capitol Reef, Arch Nemesis and Naga, and then Medieval Chamber in Moab, and Pine Creek in Zion. I wanted to give it a good test through different environments and different lengths of rappels. And by the end of Pine Creek and Zion, I'm like, I'm done with this. I didn't like it. Well, stay tuned. That's not completely. Don't just go off of that. Come last month, October, we got out doing a few canyons, had some friends come in the area, and they wanted to try my CRITR. I've actually got a couple of CRITRs, so I gave them my CRITR, and that kind of left me stranded with nothing, with no CRITR. So I pulled out the Hoodoo again, and I'm glad I did. We were in Granary that day, and if any of you have done Granary, you know there are a ton of rappels. Short rappels, long rappels, mid rappels, everything from 7 to 8 feet all the way up to the final 200-footer. And so it was a really good test for me that day to get it out again and try it and play with it again, and I'm glad I did. I still prefer the CRITR over the Hoodoo, but I'm not as disingenuous to the Hoodoo as I was prior to Granary through the summer. Since then, Granary I did also Boss Hog and Constrict 9 through the end of October and 1st of November, just to try it out again and again be honest with my actual trial of it. So pretty much similarities with the Hoodoo and the CRITR. You can see the shapes are pretty well similar. They're both based off of a figure 8 style device. They both rig the same way as far as clip a carabiner in and run the rope through the hole on top of the head. I'm going to call them the heads, and then into the carabiner. At that point, you have choices to rig arms or no arms. You can do it on the fly mode, as it's called in the Hoodoo literature, or just, I don't know what they call it, setting 0 on the CRITR. So, and yes, I do keep my literature around. Now, I found one of the big things with the Hoodoo and the CRITR in comparison to rappelling. You guys can go online and look at all the different ways to rig them and connect them and add friction and stuff. The Hoodoo I found was a bit smaller in size, not by much, but just enough turn it that way so you can see the back side. Just enough that the Hoodoo seems to bite the rope tighter. And I started out, back when I first got it, rigging the Hoodoo like I did the CRITR, adding the exact same amount of friction, which you should when you're trying to compare. Now we're using 8mm, 8.3mm Canyon Fire ropes and 8mm Sterling Canyon Lux ropes. Those are the two brands that we've played with this summer. And when I first rigged the Hoodoo with the same friction, it was just too much. The Hoodoo has a lot of sharper corners. I don't mean sharp like it's going to cut specifically through the rope, but I did notice a lot more rope fuzz that was wearing off onto the Hoodoo, more than I've ever seen on the CRITR. The edges are pretty squared off. They do have a little bit of shaving down, a little bit of roundness to them, but not as much as the CRITR, I find. And that did bite into the rope a lot more. So running the Hoodoo with the same friction that I had on the CRITR, it was just way too much on everything I did. And I think that's what really killed me and really made me hate it in the beginning. I finally just dropped the Hoodoo down to using almost no friction, just running it straight off the fly when I was in Granary, and I enjoyed that a whole lot better. It was a lot smoother. And then I could add friction with the arms as needed. So you guys can search online to find the directions and stuff for how to add friction. The one thing on the rigging form for the Hoodoo that I'm questioning, and I didn't play with it, but it shows how to set the Hoodoo up as a releasable block, just like you would with a totem or figure eight. That just seems like there's way too much going on there for that, but I didn't try it. So locking off with both devices is pretty similar. No difference really that I did in locking off either one. I locked them both off the same way, and I didn't have a problem with that. So quick down and dirty discussion on my opinions of the Hoodoo. I can have this and let students and others play with it and try it out so they can get their own opinion. Anytime you want to look at a device, take it out, use it yourself, practice with it, and try it. I'll keep it. I do hope that in the future, if there are revisions to the Hoodoo, that they may enlarge it just a hair so there's a little bit more space and movement with the rope, so it's not quite as tight and frictiony. Frictiony, is that a word? If you have never experienced life with a CRITR, you're not going to know any difference if you get started out with a Hoodoo first. So I imagine in the future, like I said, they'll do some tweaks on it. This is the first gen. CRITR's already on the second gen, and they made some mods from that one. So right now, that's my opinion, only my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Thanks again, Josh, for sending that out and giving me the chance to try it and review it. If any of you have any items you'd like me to review or compare or try out, don't hesitate to get a hold of me and get with me, and we'll give them a shot, give them a fair shake, and see what we think. So if you guys want to see any other devices that I may have in stock already as a comparison, let me know. As for me, we'll catch you out in the canyons, catch you on the next one. Hit that subscribe button and come join us on our adventures. Catch you later.